Kit Kats Can Read. Hello everybody, my name is Katie. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys my November wrap up, all of the books that I managed to read during the month of November. It actually wasn't as bad of a month as I would have hoped and thought it would have been. I had no idea how it was going to go, knew I was going to be busy, and yet I still coped with it pretty well in my personal opinion. I actually managed to read 3 physical books, 1 ebook, and 1 ebook short story. So technically 5 books, but four and a bit I suppose, because the book was really short. It was literally like 96 pages long. So I'm going to reveal to you the books that I read during the month of November, giving them the rating. If I have done a review, I will let you know, and I will also paste the link to the review down below in the description box. The first book that I read and completed in November was my ARC copy of 3 Things I Know Are True by Betty Cully. I received the physical copy of this from the publisher in exchange for an honest review, and I did a video review on this, so I will link that down below in the description for you guys to check out more of my thoughts on this book. I also did receive an e-arc of this book from Edelweiss as well, from the publisher too, so I was reading from them both, but mostly from this physical copy. This is a book that is told in verse as well, so it is a book that you could read in one sitting, but for slow readers like me, it took me a few days to get through, you know, with work and stuff as well. So this is a story of a girl and her brother Jonah accidentally shoots himself, and then he pretty much ends up being paralysed and having to have nurses and machines, and he's living like a pretty horrible life. So she is pretty much like his carer too, and it's the traumatic events and the aftermath of how she deals with it, how his friend deals with it, how the family deals with it, and yeah, it's literally, it's really beautiful and emotional and raw. It had me feeling all sorts of emotions. It's just, yeah, I don't usually read books with verse, and I really enjoyed this one. So much that I gave it 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. I really recommend it. It doesn't actually release until January next year, so keep your eyes on it. And yeah, I think it's really gonna be hard hitting, and it's really gonna, yeah, be like pow, wow, ka-chow sort of thing, because it's just, it is one of those books. But yeah, really beautiful. But check out my review for further details. The next book that I read and completed was a buddy read with my good friend Keisha. I will link her channel down below in the description box for you to check out. Please do subscribe to her, she is awesome. She's been a friend for so many years of mine, but she's also a brilliant booktuber as well. So we decided to read Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon Maguire together. I finally dived into this book series. A lot of people rave about it and say how amazing it is. I know that all of the books are really short as well, so I know that they're easy to fly through. Now, I did find with this book that it was strange at first, because I had to get used to the writing style. So for me, it took me a while. Keisha found it actually quite easy because she read like a similar book sort of thing. But for me, it took quite a while to get used to the writing style. But I did really like the characters that were in this book. I quite enjoyed the main character, and I really enjoyed this main boy character. I thought he was quite clever. He's probably actually my favourite. But actually, I did have an ultimate favourite character, and that was a girl called Sumi, and she is hilarious, she's funny, she's just a brilliant, perky, out there character. I really loved her as a character. She was my ultimate favourite. And for me, I felt this book was a bit rushed, and there were certain points in this book where I felt were a little bit unnecessary, sort of like pushing certain things out there about the characters, like that what sexuality they are, and because of this, and so that means this. And it's just, it's very strange, because this isn't a children's book. It's not like a middle grade book. It's quite a young adult book because it's got like swear words in it and things. So it's just, sometimes it was written a little bit like we're stupid sort of thing, and yeah, I didn't really like that part of it. And yeah, it was so rushed. Like for me, I wish it was longer. And I know there's other books in the series, but it just felt all of a sudden, it was just like, there's a mystery. Next chapter, we find out who it is, who is behind it all. Book ends. And it's just like, what just happened? Because that was so quick. But I did really enjoy it, and I definitely will be continuing on with the story. It's just strange. Like, I just, yeah. I didn't love it as much as everybody else has been loving it, and yeah, and I believe Keisha actually agreed with me with the rushing thing. Like, it just felt like too much was just crammed into one little book, and it could have been longer. So it was unfortunate, but I did still really enjoy it. I enjoyed it enough to give it 4 out of 5 Kit Kats, so I still found it to be a good book. It's just I had to dock a star because of those two things, like 0.5 of a star for those two things. But I've got to be honest, that's just the reason why it wasn't as amazing as everybody else has been saying it is, in my opinion. It was still a good book though. The next book that I read and completed in November was Scythe by Neil Schusterman. This is the first book that's in the Arc of a Scythe series. I actually received this physical copy from the publisher in exchange for an honest review. I believe at the time it was actually promoting Thunderhead, but now we've had Toll come out, so I'm kind of promoting the series again as well. But still, it's always good to promote books anyway. So I'm really excited that I am showcasing this book to you guys, because Scythe was a roller coaster of events. I knew I would kind of enjoy this book actually because I'd read Dry by this very same author, which is actually more of his latest release. I really enjoyed that. That was quite a sort of like, in a way, kind of dystopian thing, but more like apocalyptic, sort of like about a drought happening, and it's scary because that could sort of happen with us around the world. So Scythe is a dystopian novel that is about a sort of like perfect world. There's no people dying because of things. The only way that people can die is if they are pretty much killed off by what are known as scythes. So we have two main characters. We have Cetra and we have Ronan, and they are like apprentice scythes. So they have been chosen to learn the way of the scythe, and then in the end they will have a test, and then one of them will be the new scythe, and then unfortunately the one that is the new scythe will have to glean the other one. So they are both in a competition against each other. They both sort of head off their opposite ways with other scythes as well, and let's just say it's very eventful because both of their sort of like leader scythes that are teaching them are very different characters. And obviously we'll learn more about Cetra. There's a mystery that goes on in this book as well. I did do a review on this, so I will link that down below in the description for you to check out. But I actually really enjoyed it. The only reason I docked half a star for this is just because it was a little bit insta-lovey for me, especially near towards the end. There was a point where I was just like, wasn't really necessary. It was a little bit unnecessary. And yeah, I did a buddy read along with this, so I will leave the person I did a buddy read along with in the description box below as well. So all buddy reads will be in the description box below. But I found that I think she actually didn't like the insta love either, and I think she gave this 4 stars, so I'm actually being quite generous. I actually really enjoyed this book, and I ended up giving this book a 4.5 Kit Kats out of 5. And yeah, that's the only reason why I docked half a star. But I really like Neil Schusterman's writing style, and I definitely will be continuing on with Thunderhead and Toll, which I now own. So Thunderhead is on my agenda pretty soon, probably in the new year, to be honest, because I've got a lot of books to get out of the way. But yeah, now that I've recently finished this, I do want to continue on with Thunderhead at some point. But yeah, it is a really enjoyable book, and yeah, massive thank you to the publisher for sending it to me for review. I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys do pick it up and enjoy it as well. So the next book that I read was the really short book that was only like 96 pages long, and this is the Lion King Disney book. It's the book to the Disney adaptation, but not like it's the cartoon one basically. So we have the story. It's very quick. It just sort of goes over the story. The Lion King is one of my favourite Disney films, and I really enjoyed reading it in a book form, and it was just so light and small, and it was kind of like everything I pretty much needed. And you know, another book completed, it made myself feel better, so I read that as an ebook, and yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. It was a quick book, but I really enjoyed it, and yeah, just it made me really want to watch it again. I didn't, I held myself back, I restrained myself, but yeah, really enjoyable. 5 out of 5 Kit Kats, of course. And then guys, the final book that I read in the month of November was, well, we have to end it with a bang, but it's The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I actually managed to get this from Waterstones the day before release. I went to Waterstones at Bournemouth Castle Point in hopes that it would be there. I was like, oh, my pre-order isn't going to be here for like another week or more, and it literally released in a day, and I was just like, oh, let's just go for a little adventure. Anyway, I went there and I did find it. I did get some other books as well. I was really naughty, but I couldn't believe it when I found it literally in the front door with the new fiction. I just found one copy there. It might have been the only copy that they had maybe even put out, but just I was so lucky, because Bournemouth is a big town. It's a big town, and I could not believe that I found it, and I was so happy and excited, and you would not believe it. I just found it and I kind of squealed inside. But yeah, finally read this. This is the final book that is in the Folk of the Air series. I did do a review and book talk on this. I will link that down below in the description for you to check out. The first half is non-spoiler, the second half contains spoilers for those of you that have read the other 2 books, and especially if you've read this book as well and you'd like to see my thoughts on it and my thoughts on certain things that happened in the series. But this for me was the perfect conclusion. Just had so much in it. There was some action, there's a lot of betrayal that happens in this. If you guys don't know what this series is about, you've been living under a rock, but it's just, it was awesome. So awesome. This is a story that is about fairies, and we have this girl called Jude. She is a human being. She has a sister who is like half fairy or full fairy. She has a twin sister, and her parents are killed off one day, and they have to live in the fairy world. So living in the fairy world as a mortal, very difficult, because the fairies can play tricks on them and stuff. And so she just sort of has to live and then go to school with and sort of deal with the Prince Carden, who is quite a dark and mysterious character, and he is just, he's moody, he's broody, he's everything that we girls don't want, but yeah, we want, basically, like one of those sort of characters. So we can't help but love them. And yes, of course we do. And so the first book is about their sort of like relationship, as well as sort of like betrayals, the family secrets. We're finding things out about the family. More and more secrets are revealed. Same with the second book. And then with the third book. And yeah, I can't really talk too much about the storyline just because of spoilers. But all I would say is that I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was just a perfect conclusion. And it is one of my favourite books of the year. It's one of my favourite series, and I'm so glad that I managed to read it. I think I actually read this series this year, so I'm actually really excited that I managed to read these books and just be with it along with everybody else. But yeah, what a brilliant book series, like so much. It's definitely one that I'm going to be rereading for sure, maybe next year, maybe the year after, whenever I had the urge to, whenever I'm in a reading slump, that sort of thing. But I adored it so much, and I was lucky enough that in this exclusive Waterstones edition that there are images at the back of the book about these letters, and if you've read the book you will know about these letters. But if you don't know about these letters, then all I can say is they are just letters that go along with the story of this book, and having them in an image format, it's so perfect. So get your hands on the Waterstones copy if you can do. But yeah, of course, favourite ultimate Katie star this got, and like I say, the review book talk down below in the description for you to check more of my thoughts out in detail. It was so perfect. I enjoyed it so much. So there you have it, guys. That is the end of my November wrap up. Do you know what, actually I really thought I did bad. I thought I only read like about 3 books at first, but then I totally forgot that I read Every Heart a Doorway and completed that, and even the Little Lion King book as well. I am 3/4 through an ebook at the moment, so unfortunately I didn't get around to completing that at the end of November because I was working a lot. The last week of November I near enough worked the whole of that week and I was so tired, and then rehearsals started for the musical, so I had the Monday and the Wednesday musical rehearsals. So I don't like to make excuses, but unfortunately that is the truth of what happened. I'm just getting busier. Every Monday and Wednesday now I'm going to be having musical rehearsals. So if I'm going to be working, I'm literally going to be working, coming home and then going straight to rehearsal, or working and, you know, hanging out with some friends and going to rehearsal, or working, doing something, playing a game sort of thing. I have started playing Final Fantasy X again as well, although I haven't played it in a few days, so you know, but I've been getting a lot busier. So actually, if honest, already for the beginning of December I haven't read anything for the first 3 days of December. Today is the 3rd of December, so who knows how December is going to go, but I am really honestly in the reading mood at the moment, so it's not like I'm not going to read, but yeah, I will be reading, and I'm really enjoying the ebook that I am reading as well. So there you have it, guys. Those are all of the books. Let me know how you guys managed to do during the month of November down below in the comments, and I will chat to you guys there. If you've done a video, then share it down below as well, because I always love watching people's wrap-ups, and even your TBR videos, guys, or even your book hauls. Any video of yours recently that you've done, put it down below. I will add it to my watch later list and I will watch it whenever I can. I don't spend a lot of time on booktube lately, unfortunately. I have been lacking. I even lack vlogging. I've just been so busy and adulting, and it's mental and it's crazy. But yeah, it was time to tell you guys the books that I had finished. If you would like to watch my TBR video for December, I'm gonna link it down below, but totally up to you guys. But at least you know what's on my agenda for December. I have a lot of currently reading books I've mentioned. I have a lot of unwrapped books right here. December TBRs up here behind these books. These books are books that I want to read in front. We have the unwrapped books, and behind them the currently reading. So this TBR cart is what I'm going to be reading from in December. Luckily I've only got one review book that comes out in December that I'm going to be starting immediately after my ebook that I'm about to finish. I'm 70% through it. I am so close to finish it. I really am enjoying it. It's a new adult book and I'm really enjoying it, so that's all I'm going to say on that. Anyway guys, I'm going to head off now. I'm making it a rambly long video. That's it from me. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. All my social media links will be down below in the description if you'd like to follow me elsewhere, and I will see all of you wonderful awesome people in my next video. Bye!